everybody. This is Legally Speaking. I'm Glenn.
I'm Michael.
We are Woods and Bates, and as you can see, we are remote today.
Social distancing.
So we are adapting sort of to this new normal, I guess, that we have here with people working remotely. Michael's not in the office today. I am in the office, but we're trying to record this with some technology. We're utilizing some new technology. How's things going over there for you?
It's going really well. I like our office phones set up. They're all internet capabilities, so I was able to unplug my phone from the office and bring it here to my basement, and I can get paged just like I was sitting in my office at 306 Clinton Street. It's nice having access to all the files online if we need to. Our IT specialist has set us up with a nice secure system so that we make sure all of our digital files are protected and our client's information stays confidential. So, it's something I think we've been trending towards, and ultimately we were forced to kind of spring into action, similar to what all the school teachers were forced to spring into action with this remote learning. I know that's something that, probably was years down the road, but here we are today and we're dealing with it.
Yeah, I think it's going pretty well so far. We were chatting a little bit before we started, and I don't know that we're ready to be 100% online and remote at this point. We're still a paper file office, and we have a lot of paper around here, but I think we're getting through it. We're doing all right, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely different, but I mean, we were talking before we started recording this session, and a lot of things we were doing before the government shutdown or the statewide shutdown, we're still able to do. We're still able to meet with new clients, meet with current clients. A lot of time that's going to be via telephone conference at this point. We can still draft documents, have our clients sign those documents, return them via email, return them hard copy in the mail if our client needs, a return envelope in with their packet so that they can get us the documents back. We're able to do that. I think the best source of technology during this time is the ability to sign documents electronically. And I was just talking to a client this afternoon about when you open up a PDF document on your phone, if you use an Apple device, you have the ability to click on the little icon in the top right corner and add your notes or your signature to that document and save it as a new PDF. And I think that's been very beneficial for us even before the statewide shutdown.
I've been using that capability for quite a while. I think it's really helpful. We have had to transition to electronic filing of documents. That order, I think, was effective January 1 to 2018, I think. We were doing it before that, so we have that going for us still. We have had to move a lot of our meetings with clients to phone conferences because we're kind of locked down. We don't allow anybody other than employees into the office at the moment. Just trying to do our part, but getting everything filed still it's a little different. I personally prefer meeting in person with people to go over documents and explain them and show them where to sign and what they need to sign and what they're signing and things like that. But I've been able to make do so far. We've sent that stuff out by mail or email and kind of given instruction on how to do that. And I think it's working. We're shut down a little bit over at the courthouse. They're limited, but they're still processing uncontested orders. They're still opening the estates for us. They're doing all the things that we need to do, the essential functions, and kind of keeping that moving. What's your court calendar been looking like?
Well, anything non-emergency has either been continued or moved to just be a telephone status hearing with the judge. As far as my court cases go, we still have been filing pleadings. So any motion or petition that we need to file, obviously it won't get addressed today or before April 10th or maybe later, depending on what changes over the next few weeks. But that, like Blinn stated, we can still electronically file documents the same way that we did before. The only difference is now we're going to have to wait to get that court date. Once the court system reopens, then we're going to move forward just as normal as we did before this. But I mean, I still have clients that need documents filed. We still have that going on. The only difference is we don't get that in-person court hearing anymore. There are some exceptions to that. Specifically, there's some criminal cases that are still ongoing, which we have very little involvement with. But the cases that we do have involvement with are some orders of protection or other matters that are considered emergencies in the eyes of the court. So, there is still a hearing or two every week that I'll have to go over for if it is an emergency order of protection. So the court isn't completely 100% shut down, but it is very, very limited, even to the point where something that the judge may consider an emergency, he still might hold that hearing via telephone conference. I think the 11th Judicial Circuit, which we're a part of, is putting in place some pretty big precautionary measures to try to do anything in Central Illinois that they can to help slow anything. So they're even adapting to the point where what normally would need to be a in-person hearing, witnesses sworn and evidence presented, we're now at the point where you just make an argument over the phone to the judge and he's going to decide these issues. It's a different form of the way that we usually argue and practice law, but we have to adapt, and we're suited to do so.
Yeah, I think I was looking at my calendar a little bit in the future. I have some what I would consider uncontested hearings that were already scheduled, and the judges are taking those on as phone conferences. We're going to appear by telephone, and those are usually pretty routine anyway. But hopefully, if we're electronically filing the orders ahead of time, hopefully we can keep some of that stuff moving. And they've been pretty good to work with to get some of that stuff done, because the world hasn't stopped by any means. We're just trying to keep our distance. I've historically done real estate transactions by mail or by email, getting documents transmitted back and forth by UPS or whatever we need to do if people are not necessarily located here. So that's doable. I mean, you can still do those things. It's just a little bit more cumbersome, a little bit more difficult, I guess. But like anything, once you adjust to it, if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. I don't think it's insurmountable. I mean, this technology is certainly available too if we wanted to use it. And I think if this thing continues, I think the court system may look into something like this too, to be able to have some hearings and be able to keep things moving. I don't know what the logistics are on that, but as you and I sit here and talk, this seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, I've had no problems with it at all. If we have to get clients and they want to have that face-to-face contact and we're unable to do so because of our grand governor, then so be it. We can do it.
Yeah, I mean, this particular call I just initiated and sent you a text message with the link, and you just clicked on that link, didn't you? And it popped up.
Yep, it give your phone, or you give the app permission to access your camera and your microphone, and you can see and hear anything, just as if we were sitting there in person.
Yeah, pretty simple it seems. So that's good. I mean, I don't know. Some of the other things I've thought of, I mean, people are at home. You could just as good a time as any to do some estate planning. Some of those things that you maybe have been putting off. We can try to get some of that done. We can hopefully not argue with our families too much and, wear on each other too badly.
Yep, I think we'll just have to deal with it as it goes. We've adapted well in the short amount of time since the initial order came out, and I think we'll have to continue adapting, and hopefully here in a few weeks everything will be right back to normal again.
Yeah, I think normally maybe there'd be a concern that people are at home watching TV or, not actually working, but I can assure you that there is nothing that you would even want to watch if you wanted to right now.
Yeah, I'm sure people's watch lists are shortening very quickly.
Yeah, I've been watching a show called Tiger King on Netflix. It's pretty quality entertainment, but that's not something I would normally do.
I think it's about $2,500 you can get a tiger.
Yeah, that's we've had that discussion in our house. I don't think that I've sold my wife on a tiger yet, but we'll keep trying.
I,
We got a lot of time cooped up.
yeah, I was doing some research on that. It's not the cost of the tiger itself, but the cost of the food. I guess tigers eat a lot of food.
Yeah, this guy on the show said that tiger costs about $3,000 a month to feed, or
Wow.
maybe he said 3,000 a year. He just had a lot of them. He had over 200 of these big cats. So I mean, he's talking $750,000 just to feed these things.
Well, I know somebody that's got a petting zoo here in Lincoln. Maybe we can talk them into getting one first.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. All right. Well, keep plugging away over there, and we'll hold down the fort here as long as they let us.
Sounds good.
If we can answer any questions for anybody, we're still open for business. Phones ring as they always did, so feel free to give us a call.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody. All right.